Our project is on Madres Buscadoras. I'm Lisbeth.
And I'm Lily.
So the purpose of the group is to provide solidarity and a demand for visibility. They take action in the gaps left by the government's inaction, having violence named and classified in the federal penal code. What we can learn is strategies for community-based organizing, how to maintain hope even in dire situations.
And this group is a community-based response to Mexico's crisis of disappearances, widespread cartel violence, and ongoing human rights violations. It is also connected to the femicide currently happening in Mexico, which directly impacts the women within this group.
So who are they? Here we have the founder, Cecilia Flores, which was founded in 2019 and is still active. Majority of the members are mothers, but also including wives and sisters. I think a powerful quote that I found was, Unidas vamos a ser más fuertes, which just means together we will be stronger.
And then for what they do, on the left, you can see an image of them doing mass searching for loved ones. And on the bottom right is an image of them doing marches and protests. A quote that we have from Gio Gonzalez that really summarizes what they do is the mothers search in vacant lots and clandestine graves. They themselves locate in forests, deserts, and rivers, but they also search among for living, going to hospitals and prisons, and investigating in cities with homeless people, sex work hotspots, and places like bars where the crime of human trafficking might be taking place. And now we're going to show a short clip of this video of one of their marches.
Okay. So how and why they were formed? Why? Because the government was not taking meaningful action. Communities felt the need to respond in their own ways. How? People organized first in small groups, then online. Tasks were divided based on availability and skills. Workshops prepared volunteers. And one of the positions was a coordinator, which directed efforts and handled communication with authorities. And we also want to play this video that we thought was really good and something that you guys should see. And I think that just shows like the real realities that, mothers have to go through within Mexico. So now on to our analysis and reflection. The group is an excellent example of community care and transformative justice. The group has located over 5,000 individuals, including living victims and their remains. Some even from their own families. They have built community and gathered hope for the individuals suffering from a lost loved one. We also wanted to connect this to broader discourse. So thinking about like how this is a systemic issue that perpetuates harm and is facilitated through cartel violence, corruption of police and government, poverty, and US market. And one specific point that I wanted to make is capitalism, like its connection to capitalism. Every year, hundreds of thousands of guns are smuggled illegally from the US to Mexico because it is easier for someone in the US to go into Mexico, while it is more difficult for someone in Mexico to go into the US. Additionally, there's corruption within both sides. People who work for the Mexican government have ties to the cartel, and also cartels are tied to the US government. There is a high substantial demand for drugs within the US, which generates millions for cartels, leading to cartels fighting violently for control and expansion, impacting civilians. Thus, violence is a byproduct of all these issues combined and need to be addressed.
And connecting this to imperialism, the violence and mass disappearances in Mexico are shaped by global power structures. The U.S. influence through the war on drugs, increased militarization, and intensified violence between the state, military, and cartels. Economic policies like the North American Free Trade Agreement also created economic instability and displacement, making communities more vulnerable to violence and organized crime. These imperial dynamics contribute to the conditions where disappearance occur, which is why mothers organize as Madres Buscadoras to search for their missing loved ones.
And we also wanted to connect this to tooth, skin, and bones. We learned that disability justice is about thinking about the ways we can include people with disabilities and ensure they have a space at the table. Madres Buscadoras discuss the importance of networks. Women within these groups put in what they can, and there are diverse ways they can help. While physically searching location plays a big part, there are also other ways people can help through either gathering knowledge or sharing knowledge, posting about issues on social media, and a lot more, which can be helpful in including people who have physical disabilities, preventing them from helping when it comes to labor-intensive work.
And then connecting this to the reading cycle of liberation, the Madres moved from recognizing systemic oppression and the injustice of disappearances to taking collective action by organizing searches, documenting evidence, and demanding accountability. This framework situates the Madres' work within a broader discourse on imperialism, showing how local resistance confronts structural violence, while creating community-led strategies for justice and healing. And then for our summary, we made 3 points, which is that they organize families, mostly mothers, to search for missing loved ones where the government has failed. They have located thousands of missing individuals, building hope, solidarity, and transformative justice within their communities. This group highlights how collective grassroots efforts can confront systemic violence, corruption, and femicide, showing the power of community-based solutions. And then 3 main key takeaways from this group is that collective action creates change, grassroots justice addresses systemic violence, and that solidarity in networks empower communities.
So, I just wanted to talk about like my application to this and like my understanding of this. So I think a good question that Hempfield poses within what it takes to heal is how do we take action knowing that what we face is bigger than what any individual can handle on their own? Through Las Madres Buscadoras, what I was able to take away is the importance of collective group effort through the lens of transformative justice when a system that is much larger than you and is much larger than you and the people who are supposed to help and protect you ignore you, then you must then create a new solution. And that's what they did. They go to locations and they try to find their loved ones with the skills and knowledge they are forced to learn, and then they teach these skills to other women. They demonstrate that when an issue is too much for one person, you can rely on your community.
And then for my application and understanding, the work of the Madres Buscadoras resonates with me as a future social worker because it shows how communities respond to violence and systemic failure when institutions do not protect those living within it. In Mexico, these mothers take the initiative to search for their missing loved ones, demonstrating resilience, knowledge, and strategies rooted in their lived experiences. And this reminds me to approach social work with cultural humility, listening to and learning from the communities I serve, centering their expertise and supporting community-led solutions while advocating against structural violence.
And the personal impact that it had on me is, while it may be a difficult subject to discuss, it's still powerful in the way that these are everyday people who look like me, who look like my mother, cousin, aunt, or uncle, who come together to find their loved ones. It's also powerful that this is women-led, especially when we consider the femicide that continues to occur within Mexico, which is also facilitated by police immunity.
And then for how it is impacting me, I thought it was incredible to see how individuals, specifically women, are able to gather and collaborate in response to a crisis that affects their community. These women are so passionate about what they do in their cause, with them risking their lives for it. I think there's a lot that can be learned by examining groups of resistance outside the United States and really defocusing that Western perspective.
And then these are our sources.
Yes, and thank you.